Hey everyone, welcome to my review of Kingdom of the Wicked. I love this book, I really did. To summarise, I give it 5 stars, easily. I received a early copy through NetGalley, but by the time this video is out, I think it'll probably be past October 27th, potentially, which is its release date, so you could maybe go and get a copy now because it's such a great book and it's a perfect spooky Halloween read, so you don't want to wait. It's definitely not a summer read. I feel like if I read it like on holiday, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, but it was the perfect book for this time of year. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, I received an early copy and it was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's by the same author who wrote Stalking Jack the Ripper, which is on my to be read book cart. I've been meaning to read Stalking Jack the Ripper for so long now, and I have moved up my to be read list because this author is incredibly talented and I am obsessed with her writing. So I've heard amazing things about Stalking Jack the Ripper and that series, and I really hope that they live up to everything. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the book in summary. It is perfect for Halloween, such a spooky, dark, mysterious book. I loved it. So now let's go into the writing. The writing is one of the reasons why I've moved Stalking Jack the Ripper up, because it was beautiful. It was really beautiful. I loved it. It was very emotional at times, and I don't know if that's because of the main character or just the author's style of writing, but I definitely felt a connection to the character's emotions through what we were hearing and seeing from the character, and just, it was amazing. And it's quite a, I think emotional is probably the right word, book. There is a lot of things that go wrong, a lot of heartbreak for our main character, and as the reader you do feel that when you're reading the situation, and it's tough, but it's done beautifully. It's not something that kind of impacts you when you shut the book away, you know. So that was nice because it felt like I was lost in the world, but I could easily pull myself away and not be like really sad all day. It was really descriptive. I really loved the world building. She just had these little details here and there, which some were really important to the plot, so I love that. I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed the world building and the research that she's put so much research into this book, and you can tell, like, you can so tell how much work has gone into building this world, and I really appreciated that. As a writer, it's not easy to world build. I don't enjoy it. So it was really good to see it done so well. So the start of the book pretty much jumps straight into the action. The first chapter I was very confused on. I didn't really understand what was going on, but it was important to pay attention to it. So it's important that it's there. It just was a bit out of place. But after that, the story got going really quickly and it was just so entertaining. And I mean, the big plot point happened quite early on. I was expecting it to take a bit more time, but yeah, it suddenly happened and I was like, okay, the story's going now. So that was brilliant. And yeah, I was completely hooked. It was a really perfect plot which kept me engaged throughout the whole book. There wasn't times when it felt like it was lacking and it was slowing down. It kept going, and the amount of different things that the character has to do, she's always jumping somewhere and doing something, so it never felt like she was just sat there, if that makes sense. Because I feel like with some books the main character just sits there and things happen, but this main character goes out and searches for those, so I really like that. So now I'm on to characters. Let's talk about the enemies to lovers trope. I have always enjoyed this trope. I've never been like crazy about it until I've read this book. Now I am fully obsessed. I plan to reread all the books with this trope in, and I'm just in love with it. It's so much fun, and this author does it so well. Like, absolutely brilliantly. I was really impressed, and well, I don't want to spoil anything because my review's spoiler free, but the main characters, the enemies to lovers couple, were just perfect. Like, it it feels like it will be a Jude and Cardan situation later on, but at the moment it's very much them in the first book before, if that makes sense. So it's very like The Cruel Prince in the relationship dynamic, but I loved it. I really, really loved it. And every scene the couple were together, I was hooked. I could not put the book down, and that was another thing. I literally could not put this book down. It was crazy. I was literally like sat eating and I was just staring into the abyss thinking about the book. I was like, I need to go and read this right now because I cannot stop. So that was really good. I don't think a book has hooked me like that in a while, which was really nice. The side characters, the secondary characters, were actually one of my favourite parts about this book, and I don't say that for many books. You tend to have like the main few people and then the outside people are just there to do a job, but this author built them up in a way which I loved. I really, really loved. She created them to be real. They weren't just there for plot convenience. They were someone in this world that added to the plot, and I loved it. I really, really liked it. And some of my favourite characters were actually secondary characters. Did I see a plot twist coming? Yes. Yes, I did. But I don't think many books surprise me anymore when there's like a built-in big twist that's kind of been hinted at, that something's up, something is unknown. So I don't think it's the author's fault. It's nothing to do with the writing, I don't think. She gave the perfect amount of hints and kept enough a secret that it wasn't easy to figure out, but I did figure out the big twist. It wasn't a huge twist, just before the end, which, talking about the ending, I need book 2. I know this book isn't even out yet, but I need book 2, because, oh my goodness, that final line just had me. And I have so many questions. I was messaging people who I know have read the book, being like, what do you think is going on? Like, what is going to happen? Because that ending, I saw, because it was on my Kindle, it was like 99% through, and I was like, no, I cannot have just 1% left. I can't. There needs to be more. So I'm very, very excited for book 2, and I really hope that it lives up to this book because I loved it. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say. The characters were relatable. I really, really can't flaw them. The world was complex and had a really strong history behind it. If you like The Cruel Prince and maybe Caraval, or Caraval, however it's meant to be said, because I still don't know, and I have 7 copies of the series. That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot now I say it out loud. Yeah, so I feel like with Caraval it's kind of the magic and the mystery that's like Kingdom of the Wicked, and The Cruel Prince, it's the relationship. So yeah, if you enjoy those 2 books, I think you'll probably really enjoy this book. I did. And I'm just trying to figure out when I can reread it, when I can justify rereading it, because it was a really, really brilliant read.